Welcome back to another episode of NaytonTech. This is going to be vlog number 18. This is going to kind of go over this week's projects that I've been working on. I got a couple things that have finished up, a couple little tweak changes that I've made, and a bunch of new products that are coming out over the next couple weeks. The first one I wanted to go over, this is one that's completed, is up for pre-order right now. Actually, it has been for a week or so. This is the final version. This is the Sedan and Hatch, and I'm actually starting to mark all of my products. I don't know if you can see this. Anyway, this says EF Sedan and Hatch on there. Obviously with the NaytonTech logo, so you actually know, helps me know also which ones they are, because there's 4 different versions of this for the EF and DA. So just for me to remember which ones I mark them, but that's also so you guys know. The final change that I made on this, I was kind of going through some different bolt options, and I came across an idea where I could countersink these hex bolts. You guys see how flush those are into the plastic. They're actually pretty tight fit. You could probably actually put the nut on without these even twisting on you. These take a 5mm hex wrench. I got them in black so that they match this, so you can see how nice and clean this will actually install now, instead of having a bolt or a nut sticking up above here and then it's silver. And so I ordered all black ones. I've got 6 nuts that will be included with washers, and these have the nylon inserts in them, so you should never have a reason why these back out on you, because the nut will be on the bottom in your exhaust tunnel. So anyway, this is the Sedan and Hatch. This is the final version. The CRX is completed. It is done and tested. I'm waiting for one more measurement on the wagon. All 6 holes bolt up. I'm just waiting for the bolts to make sure that this tower here, where you screw the front of your center console, I'm just waiting to make sure that that lines up front to back correctly. Height should be fine. They're the same across the board there. It's just front to back. And then I'm waiting on the DA, which I'm hoping should be the same for all 6 bolts, as well as the 2 towers. They're actually all the way back here. So as soon as I hear back on those, I can actually start shipping those. I'm going to start shipping these over the next, probably over the weekend. I'm going to start getting them boxed up and these out to the guys that ordered the Sedan and the Hatch version, now that I've got all the bolts and stuff in. If you guys have any questions about this, make sure you post it below or on social media. Hit me up anywhere there. The next one, this is the newest version of the e-brake cup holder. So I've rounded off the edges here. And then I did have this notched straight out. I don't think I've got the version here. Anyway, and one of the guys that was testing it said he actually nicked his knuckles on this a couple times because he kept forgetting that it was there. So I've rounded off these edges, so hopefully it's not quite so harsh. I haven't had a chance to meet up with him again and have him test this, see if it's any better. I may move it in just a little bit further, just for a little more knuckle clearance if you want to grab your e-brake handle to pull it up. But so far this is fitting very well. We're just kind of fine-tuning these edges here so that they fit against the e-brake handle and the seats. So this one, it's up for pre-order, but I still got a couple more little tweaks on it before I'm happy with starting to ship them. Let's see, for the DAs, I did come up with 2 more center console pieces. I had a guy that requested to see if I could make one with a single cup holder and 2 gauge pods. So this is the second version. The first one was too high and it actually interfered with your ashtray. This one sits a lot lower. They're tilted back a little bit more, but they're not tilted back far enough to where you can't see them. They're not flat. So anyway, this one I'm probably going to be sending out to him to test. Not this exact version. This one's cut off, but a version very close to this to test and make sure that it works okay. I'm worried that there's a metal plate probably about here, somewhere in this area. I'm worried a little bit about clearance depending on how deep the gauge is. Some of your cheaper gauges that are kind of deep are going to hit that. You might have to notch out that metal plate back there. I think it's just the surround for the radio, so just notching a little half circle in it probably wouldn't affect anything. But that's one of the last things that I really need to test on this guy. This is up for pre-order. This is the dual gauge pod with a single cup holder. This cup holder will hold a Monster, Rockstar. It will not hold an iced tea. It is too small in diameter for that. You might be able to get like a medium or a small McDonald's cup in there, but this will not do like your large fountain drinks and stuff. This one's a little more for racy style. I do have, and I'm still doing some final tweaks on this. This is replacement. If you guys haven't seen, you know, this piece that I make, I do make this with a dual cup holder. This is a triple gauge pod. If you do not want cup holders and you're more full race, you want your gauges down in front of the shifter, I will have this option as well if you want it. I'm going to try to get a triple gauge pod on this one. I'm going to try to get a third one right here. It's going to stick up a little bit higher, which means you'll most likely lose your ashtray if you don't use it at all. This might be an option as well, because you can get three gauges kind of on the left side of the shifter where you can still see them, and you still have one cup holder for your can or whatever. So a couple more tweaks on these. This one is up for pre-order. The triple gauge pod I have not added up. I need to do another test on it just to make sure before I add it. So that is that for the DAs. A couple new pieces. These are things I'm going to be adding on for those, you know, kind of like a bonus piece. You will be able to order them, but I'm going to be throwing them in as kind of a bonus maybe for people that pre-order. You'll get these as, you know, included if they work with the piece kind of thing. This one, it's an insert, and I've wanted to make these for a while, but I've kind of been focusing on some other things. So this is a Red Bull insert. It fits with my standard cups. So for example, even these ones it would work for. Well, these are the standard size cups, but this one would interfere with your e-brake handle. Anyway, you can see it pops in. It's got the tapers just right to fit inside here. And then you can take your, this is the 12 ounce Red Bull. I think there's an 8.4 that's a little bit skinnier than this one. But anyway, this fits in and it's not going to move very much on you. I gave it just a little bit of clearance so it's not a tight fit. But to give you an idea of what it looks like in the normal, doesn't stay in. So this insert, if you guys drink a lot of Red Bulls, this insert's going to be very nice for you. The other insert that I have, I am a chicken nugget guy, so this is my dippy cup holder. I don't think I've got one out here. Anyway, this will hold 3 different sizes of dippy cups, or dipping cups. So it's got your small one here. If I can do this. So your small one goes here, like ones you would get at McDonald's, things like that. There is a larger version for the rectangle that fits here, and then I've seen a couple, I don't know if they still have them anymore, but like your Wendy's, they used to have the circle, like sweet and sours. Anyway, this one has a circle cut in it. You can't quite see it in the picture. It's a little bit right here and right here where that would set in if you're going to use the little circle cup. So this sits flush. Stick your piece in, then you can have your nuggets while you're traveling. Like I said, I'm working on a couple more of these. I got a couple ideas, but none of them have made it this far yet. I've got one, I'm looking at maybe one that's kind of a French fry holder. That one's still kind of like, I'm going to work on that one, but we'll see how it turns out. I got a couple other ideas as well, but nothing that's, you know, going to be working as good as this. If you guys have any suggestions of things that you are using that you would like, and I can do custom inserts as well. If you have like a vape or whatever that you always sit in your cup holder, but it's always tipping over on you, I can get some measurements for you and make you a custom insert for, you know, your vape. If you want, you know, cigarette holder, that kind of stuff, I can make you guys anything custom. But the couple, you know, my standard ones are ones that I'm going to be giving out as, you know, bonuses for those that, you know, help me out in some way, that sent me a product that I'm able to build cup holders around or another product around. Those guys that pre-order, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be throwing in there as a bonus for pre-ordering and kind of getting that product going. The last one, and a lot of you guys will be excited about this one, I've been working on the DC Integra center console. It's an upgraded cup holder. Not a big upgrade, but I think it warrants, some ingenuity, I guess. So the piece I'm working on, it does replace the factory piece here. So if you guys are familiar with the center console, you got your shifter and then it just rounds up. There is a factory cup holder here. I've got it sitting. Let's see, let me grab that real quick. I'm going to show you what it looks like first and then kind of show you how I tweaked it. Okay, so this is the factory cup holder. It bolts in. There's 3 screws, one here and one on each side here. So this has, a nice little mechanism that pops out, and it gives you basically 2 cans is all it gives you. If you guys, especially if you're in your car and you grab something at McDonald's, fast food place, you're going to get a fountain drink, which does not fit in this at all. So what I've done, maximized the amount that I can use pretty much between these 2 screw holes right here. I made it quite a bit wider and was able to get this piece. Mine's not going to be as fancy, it's not going to click in or anything like that, but I do have measurements on the side so you can push it all the way in, and it does have stoppers on it. It does have a little finger hole here on the bottom for you to grab it and pull it out. But I was able to get a full-size cup here on the driver's side, and then my standard small size. So basically, this is basically the same as the DA Integra. A little bit closer, just because of room that we've got to work with. But you do have the full cup, and the nice thing is this is tapered. It does work with the 2 inserts that at least that I've made so far. You can see how that one sits down. So you can get, I'm hoping, I'm going to test this with an extra large cup. I can guarantee it'll work with a large, like McDonald's style cup. I don't know about the extra larges. This one will work with your rock stars and normal soda cans. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it's still not big enough to do like an iced tea. So the tweaks I'm making to this is the second prototype of this piece. The other one just wasn't. I made it longer and then put some stops on it. The piece that goes in here, and you can see it here on the bottom, it's this piece. This is still the first version of this one, and I'm going to be making a second one, and I'm going to show you why. So if you look, once this is out, you can see how it's offset to this side. So when you put a can over here, it actually wants to touch this side of the console. What I'm going to try and do, if I can make it work, is actually have this come out at an angle so that both your can and your fountain drink or can or whatever you have on this side miss the sides on both sides. It's going to be a tight fit and actually sit on this flat piece here, so the cans actually sit flat. I'll post up a picture right over here of what it looks like when it comes straight out, and you'll see what I'm talking about, where the can kind of wants to sit cockeyed because it's hitting this edge. So if I can make that work, usually when you twist things sideways they get a little bit wider. So my biggest worry is that it's not going to fit between those 2 front holes. The 2 front screw holes is all. I'm trying to make this so that it's a bolt-in piece. As of right now it is a direct bolt-in piece, and it will have a stopper in it as well, so when you pull out on it, it'll only come out so far. And I'm working on closing in those gaps a little bit more on the sides and the top and the bottom, so once you get it out almost all the way, it's going to kind of stiffen up a little bit. Right now it's a little loose and it's got a lot of play in it, but like I said, this is just the second prototype for me to check screw placement, things like that, make sure that everything kind of fits and works. and then I can make the final little tweaks and stuff from there. So I'm hoping here in the next 2 or 3 weeks as I play with this that I will get that one done. I do have a guy sending me a DA cup holder, the one that goes inside the armrest. It's got the little, it pops up. He's actually having, I'm going to try to replicate the 2 little arms that always break on the little pop-up piece. I'm going to try to replicate those. And then I'm also going to be trying to make an upgraded version of that. It'll actually inset further down in, so you won't have as much space underneath. But at least it'll be a more sturdy cup holder, as well as the rear cup holders for the DC. And I believe this is going to be the same as the EG. I will verify that, but I'll be making some dual cup holders with the dual USB charger option in these, as well as possibly something to go in here under the armrest. So I got a lot of stuff that I'm working. Oh, a lot of stuff that I am working on, and I did find. Where did it go? I don't know if you guys recognize this little piece here. See if I can get it in the camera. Focus. If you guys recognize this, some of you EF guys will recognize this. This is the tensioner piece for your headlights when you're adjusting, you know, how far your headlights aim up or down. This is that little white plastic piece that breaks all the time. I found a guy on it's called Thingiverse. There's a lot of 3D files on there. I found a guy on there that actually posted this one up. He'd already made it. So I'm going to make this one available if anybody wants it. It's not going to be, I'm going to list it on the website. Credit to him, obviously. There's no point in me recreating it. He did put it out there for public use. I'm not going to be charging hardly anything for these, mainly because it's not my product, so I'm not really trying to make money off of it, but I do want to make it available to you guys. I do have a couple of little pieces I'm testing out that are kind of like this, if I can get them to print right. So anyway, if you guys need anything like this, some of the stuff, I don't know if it's available from Honda anymore, but I mean, these things are, I mean, I could probably do 2 or 3 of them for $1 or $2. I mean, you know, shipping's probably going to end up costing more than what the piece is. But if you do need one and you're ordering a cup holder, I can throw these in at pretty much no cost. So these will be added on one of these days onto the website. I think that's pretty much it for the products that I'm working on. I am going to be working on some more gauge pod stuff for the EFs. The DAs you've already seen. I've got a couple other ideas on those, but I've got a little bit more work to do and find some pieces before I can get going on those. But the EFs, I'm going to be working on the left and right single vents. I'm going to be working on a gauge pod for at least the left one, but the right one, since there were replicas, I'll build the main frame piece for it and then can do whatever we want. I got a guy that's actually asking for some tweeter pods to go in those as well. I'm going to be making a triple and a dual gauge pod for the center vent. Possibly even trying to make a dual pod where one of the vents is still functional, where you can pop out the factory vent and glue it or clip it into my design, so you have 2 pods and still the gauge, or sorry, two gauge pods and still a functional vent. So it's I do have a couple other gauge pod things that are in mind. I am trying to track down a couple pieces. I am in need of, and these you don't have to work, I just need them for measurements. I'm trying to find an S2000 cluster. If anybody has a broken one or knows somebody who has a broken one, I will pay shipping on it to get it here. But I want to try to make some adapters for a lot of the the EFs, the DAs, some of the newer cars as well. It's actually an adapter to where you just bolt it into where your factory cluster would go. You do all the wiring, of course, on yourself, but it would just bolt in and you've got an S2000 cluster instead of your factory one. As well as I'm trying to find an S2000 push start button that I can make some plates and stuff for all the various Hondas and Acuras or Civics and Integras mainly. So if you guys have any of those pieces, definitely hit me up below so I can get them here and start going on some of those pieces. I did create a Facebook community for us to chat, and I can put up stuff on what I'm looking for. You guys can make requests, things like that. If you go to facebook.com/NaytonTech, there is I think there's a community button. You guys can request to join there, and I'll get you guys added. trying to get as many people in there as possible, get some conversations going on what we can make and make better. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you know anytime I'm putting out a video. Trying to do them at least once a week. Last week was my daughter's birthday, so I didn't really get much going on there. But this week I'm back into it. And like I said, if you have any questions, post them below. And we'll see you next time.